Hello everybody, this is Animal Lover, a UCG player from Singapore and also a TCG consumer in general. And during the month of December, I decided to use these two very interesting decks to go to my locals, and I ended up winning a Galaxy Cup and a challenge match. Even though I didn't win a lot of them, to be fair, I didn't go to a lot of them. I would get pretty good results in it. In Galaxy Cups, I would usually be topping, which is kind of crazy considering this deck is a Belial deck, which is normal, that's meta. But this deck is a Tiga and an X deck. Yes. So I thought, why not share with you guys what the build is, and maybe you guys can try it out yourself to see whether it is luck. Okay, so for the Tiga deck, it is... For the level 1s, I'm playing 4 searchers, the very standard, and 4 other level 1s, I've chosen this level 1. You guys can replace this with any, I just chose to use this one because it's the first one right out and it looks good. The second one is the level 2s. I choose to play one of these, 2 of these, and my standard would usually be 4 of these and 4 of these. 4 of the scene searchers and 4 of the shufflers. And these 3 makes it a total of 11 cards. I decided to run 11 level 2s instead of maybe 12 or more, or maybe lesser. For me, these 2s are mainstay. This will never go. This will give you your scene card, and this will help you unbrick your hands. These 2 can be swapped to whatever build you want it to. I chose to use this 12k. It's because in the meta where most level 3 double stacks are 12,000, a 1-2 can hold its lane, and when I need this card, I do need this card, but it's not super important, so that's why I decided to opt for 1 in it to have that as an option. Meanwhile, these 2 are the really strong ones, which is essentially you're able to add 1000 BP to any basic Ultra heroes, and obviously with Zephyrion Beam being a basic, adding that 1000 BP might let you steal the scene in case you're going up against a mirror. Now for the level 3s, I chose to play 2 Jurassian Beam, I chose to play 3 power types, and of course the standard 4 Zephyrion Beams along with 2 other level 4s. I've decided to run no starter deck level 3s is because in testing, I've never really liked it. Its 2 stack is only 12k, and even if you do get it, it's 3 stack. A mirror, especially a Zephyrion Beam 18k, will be jumping around. There's no way the 17k will be of use to use its ability. Even if you do use its ability, it will require you to discard a card from hand, and honestly, in a Tiga matchup, that's really bad, because in Tiga, your hand is your resource and you don't get much resource as for Tiga as it is. So I chose not to run that, and instead I chose to run 2 more power types and more of this Jurassian Beam. It's because I like this double stack that's 13k. Most level 3s right now have a 12k a double stack, so 13k can actually punch over many level 3s right now, double stack level 3s, and especially with Omega in the meta, 13k can actually tie with a kaiju after it's on play. So I thought this was really good, and its skill is to deduct 1000 BP, and honestly this is a really good ability as well. In case this card is tied with a kaiju, that minus 1000 BP will help it win the battle. Or in the case where it's losing because it's 12k, this minus 1000 will now make it a tie. Or in the case where it's against a Zephyrion Beam versus another Zephyrion Beam, this minus 1000 will come in clutch. Or what if it's a level 4 against a Zephyrion Beam? this minus 1000 can make it a 19,000, and then I can use the scene to help me overpower it. It's pretty useful, and I suggest you guys to explore this card more. Now time for the X part. The X is pretty standard. Once again, 4 searchers, but this time the level 2s, I played 2 of each card, which is 2 scene searchers, 2 shufflers, and 2 12Ks. The reason being is because in testing, I realized that X will not triple very often. It's often a double 1-2 or maybe a 2-3, and because of that, I opt to go for this because as the deck as it is, 4 of the Tiga scene searchers and 4 of the Tiga shufflers are actually plenty enough for these abilities. So I only put this as extra for the X, and mainly this 12K is to cover other ultra heroes or even a kaiju for a more than 10k kind of a wall. And last but not least, the level 3, which is this 2 and this 2, a total of 4. The reason why I didn't choose to go all 4 of these or all 4 of these, 3 and 1 or 3 and 1, is because I felt that whenever I played with them, I'll break too much if I put 3 or even 4 of these and they ended up being useless, even though its double stack is 13k, which I really like it a lot. But ending it on a 2-3 with almost no ability is pretty bad. And when I put 3 of these, once again, it's the same reason. I just felt it's too bricky, and by the time I get it to a triple, its ability is useless. So I kinda like to spread out my options, and if there's a chance for a triple, I will go for these because the activate ability is not that bad. For Tiga, you usually be able to get the lead to get a scene down, and you'll be able to add the power to any ultra hero. While this is simply for the 2-3. If I can get a 2-3 out as fast as possible, I can deny some level up if I'm lucky enough. That's it for the X. And for the scenes, I chose to play 1 Legend of Stone, 2 All-For ones, and 3 The Shining ones. Now, this is obviously going to be your main scene card after you jump with Tiga's level 3. Here, after you jump with Tiga's level 3. But the reason why I opt to go for 3 of this instead of 4 is because I don't want to end up drawing it, which happens quite often as 3 already. And when I tested it with 4, it just kept on coming. So this level 2 and this 2 here is to counter Dinah and most of the scenes which are currently either a level 3 or a level 2. So this can replace most scenes, and although I don't end up using its activate a lot, at least it is a scene for me to draw an additional card. For Legend of Stone, I do not need to say it. If I have another level 3, I would try to use it. But for this is actually really good in terms of just revealing what the top deck is. So you have hand knowledge of what the opponent goes for next. And additionally, it has the secret effect of plus 1000 BP to its shared type, so if I'm lucky, I might win one. That's it for my Tiga-X deck. For the Belial deck now, here is the build. It has 4 of these. It has 6 level 6s, which is 4 of it are scene searchers, 2 just being vanillas, and 4 of these Belials. I try to keep the number as low as possible, is because here, this is your main win con of the deck, which is if you can get 5 kings out, you would usually win the game. Although it is not guaranteed anymore because 17k is actually really low in the current meta of this game, considering there's a lot of 18ks right now. So what do we use to drive those 5 kings? We use these. We use the Alien Baltons, where you can fill up your discard pretty easily. I don't mind playing 1 stack of these as well, so that's why I play it in 2-3s. If I have the chance to level up, I would, but it's not always a must because this card is activatable 1 stack. Mephisto, for just an extra minus 1000 BP against other ultra heroes, and as I said, 17k isn't very big of a stat line anymore, So having a minus 1000 would do very well if you can get a double. If not, usually I would shuffle this away or throw it or put it in as discard. 3 of these Gethanotor and 2 of these level 6s, because in a case where I don't match up against a level 4 or a deck that uses level 4, 6, 7 right here is actually pretty big. It's a 17k and it can even go up to a 19 if you have a Belial on the field. So it's pretty good. So I decided to run 5 of it. For Zetons, I used to run 3 of this, 2 of this for Zeton, 2 of this for Omegas or any mono decks, and 3 of these BP ups. Considering Omega is pretty relevant, this is a good counter to it, and this as well, because Reckiness can BP up, and this is a good stop. Now the reason why I chose to run this instead of the other one, of the other level 5 Zeton that you are able to BP up in case the opponent's a double, because it's pretty hard to predict a double in this. It's pretty hard to predict a double for Ultra Heroes. Even if you do predict it correctly, let's just say you're going up against a Kaiju player, it's not really that predictable anymore. And with this, it has an extra BP. You can actually BP up it with a Belial. So that's why I choose to opt for this instead of the other option, because you're not able to BP up that Zeton because it doesn't have an extra stat. Meanwhile, all these Zetons have an extra stat that I can BP up. So in the case where I do not draw a level up and I just play this alone, it can actually help me win a game in case I need to BP up this Zeton here. I played 2 Killeroid as well to catch any Tiga that's on board. I choose to not play the level 5 in this case because Killeroid is usually a tech card. If I'm going up against a Tiga, this is just a good card to play as a single. It's a 10k as well, so you will stop most level 1 and 2 unless you're like me and you build the and you have the 12k vanilla card for Ultramans, and it's a double stack. Next is Alien Metron. This card is pretty good as well. As long as you reveal a Ultra Hero, it gets to be 15,000 straight away. In Singapore, we do not have the level 5 version of this card, and I think as for most English using a UCG players out there, only Japan has the level 5, and so unfortunately we can't level this up. But a single by itself is also pretty damn good. And also I played 1 Goba just as extra discard, or just as extra a variety to drive the 5 king forward. And last but not least, these 4 scenes. 3 of these Jade Identity and 1 of these End of the Day, just for good measures. Yep, because the scenes aren't the main driving factor in this deck, it is actually a 5 king, or if you can't get the 5 king out, a level 7 Kaiju, a level 7 Belial would do the job as well. So for this Tiga-X deck, what is the main win condition here, and how the heck did I win a Galaxy Cup with it? Well, the main win condition is to essentially ensure that kinda your X doesn't come out. Yeah, even though I really wanted to just play with X just to see how far I can get. Obviously this deck works better if there is no X, because X is obviously the weak point here. But what happens if you do draw X? And hopefully you get the good X. What do I mean by this? If you have in your hand a level 2X, and especially this level 3X, this X right here, this is your second win condition of the deck, which is essentially to stun the player till they can't level up. If you're able to always reveal them, and it always comes out a basic or the same type where they aren't able to level up, you actually stun them for a good 3 turns, and I've actually won a couple of matches this way. Around 3 to 4 people have actually fell victim to this, and it's pretty good. I win it in 3 rounds because they aren't able to level up, and I was pretty lucky and I hydroed a lot of good Tiga, such as this. The moment they can't level up their first level, this will win. You can just BP down this one and BP up this one. Yeah, and you would still win because their first lane is only a level 1. But other than that, the main win condition for this is obviously the Ultraman Tiga. If not, if you want to rely on the secondary condition, which is X, it is pretty damn hard. So here is an example. One, two, three. Here. This is so if you get a hand like this, where it's evenly spread between X's and Tiga, you do not need to mulligan, because you have a searcher X and you can find a way to level it up. This prevents one of two things, which is it definitely prevents a Zeton from killing you. And it prevents a Zeton from killing you. At the same time, now that you have this X, it prevents the X lane from losing immediately. But however, there's no good there is no level 1 Tigas here, so that is indeed a problem. So I might end up playing this just to see whether I can find a level 1 Tiga in this case. So here's how this would play out here. 1, 2, 3, and I found one. I'll take this one here, the rest of this card. Next, draw. I'll play one of these, and now that I've searched what I want, I will then play this. Now here, this lane is pretty secure. Well, I can go look for another card. 1, 2, 3. And let's just take another level 1 Tiga. Put the rest here to draw the next card. Another searcher. And in this stage of the game, he could have a level 3, which might finish you already. I might not play this anymore. Might play this. 1 and 2, 1, 2, and maybe 3, like this. And this might make me survive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get this into hand. Rest to discard. Next, to draw 1. By the time you survive this, you're either the lead, or if you're not the lead, you should have these 2 Tigas to help you out right now. Really good. So what do you need to do? You can either choose to play this 1, 2, maybe to shuffle away the scene to get a better card, or to shuffle away this level 1 to maybe to get a better card as well. Or you can probably play a searcher level 1 if you want to be that risky. I personally would choose this maybe and see how it goes. I would level up 1, I'll level up 2. So I would activate this first to shuffle, and now 1, 2, draw 2, and look at that, it's not a bad 2, 3. Now you can minus 1k, maybe jump this to the front, and maybe minus 1k to this so that you can win this lane now. Yep, and then the next turn when you draw, now you have a scene. If they don't have a scene, you can play this. Draw 1, and now we have a pretty good hand. 1 and 2, and we should win the game by now. Now what about the Belial? Well, as previously mentioned, it is either a 6-7, that is the Belial, or the 5 kings that are on the board. These are your 2 win conditions. And honestly, if you're up against an Omega, this is probably a win condition as well, because this is so big that nobody can get it across. Yep. So how are you able to fill up your discards and all that stuff? Well, I can't really explain it, because to be fair, this deck is a bit of luck based, but if you get there, you will know what to do. I think the more important skill to learn from this deck is knowing when to mulligan or when to keep a hand, because after all, a kaiju deck does not have a lot of searchers, so it's pretty hard to know when to keep it, or like when do I start pivoting to a 5 king, or when do I start like committing to a Belial play instead. Alright, so here's an example. Here's this hand. It is not really good, but there may be a chance. There is a level 6 discard, so there may be a chance for you to draw into a 5 king, while there is a level up for 5 and 6. So I'm actually gonna keep this hand. We play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3 types of monster in our discard. These two are useless because it's a repeat and a 5 king is not counted. I'll draw for next. I'll probably get a lead right now, but I can't win. So I'll play this and hope that they have nothing. I shall hide information of my Mephisto. And then the next draw, now I have a Belial. So at this point, we should probably pivot to a Belial play. So in this case, you will want to put in maybe a big body that you can either BP up, or maybe you want to put this for a potential level up. I would probably put this because there's no chance that I die, knowing that I have a level up and level up like this. So I'll give this a potential level up instead. Alright, and now I can either choose to discard one to fill this up or not. So at this point I'll probably still win the second lane unless they rush to do a level 3. So in the case where they do, I shall drop 1 Zeton to fill up to make it 4 and to BP up this one probably because it will be 18,000. And then when I draw the next card, it is now a 5 king. But the only bad thing now is that I do not have any other discard left. But what I can do is I can play this, and I can actually play this and I can actually discard to BP up itself because it is extra. Yep. And in the case where I still miraculously survive this turn, draw next, now I do have something I can pivot to. In the case where I do somehow win this lane, which I'm assuming I need to drop a card over here for the previous turn. I'm pretty sure I need to discard one to make this into 18k, maybe to tie a lane. Yep, and when I draw this, now I have 1 and now I have 1, and when the activation phase happens, I can throw this to make it a 5. And this is how you play with Belial and 5 kings. Obviously, it's gonna take a lot of practice, and as you can see, the deck is pretty on and off sometimes. Yep, I got lucky and I drew a 5 kings. On days, maybe you can draw a searcher and find the 5 kings. So it is pretty, it takes a bit of practice to know what you want to do for this deck. So don't be frustrated if you can't win the first few tries. It definitely comes with more feel than any other deck that I've played so far. Yep, just an example number 2. Here, this hand is really good. Now I have 2 5 kings and I have this button to drive the 5 kings forward. So I'll play this, I'll play this, and the first turn we discard 3. 1, 2, and 3. And that's 3 different names on board already. I'll draw the next card. Now I have a Mephisto. I don't mind playing this here because it's a potential level up. Now I get to discard another 3. 1, 2, 3. There's 1 gold bar right here. These 2 are not different names anymore. To draw the next card. Now it is about betting. I can either choose to play a 5 kings to wait for 1 more card to pop out, or if I'm scared, I can play a 5-6 immediately, which can be good or can be bad depending on the matchup. So I shall just choose to play a 5-6, 6-7 first. Yep, let's go for the safer route because I don't believe, or it's very rare for people to commit to a 3-4 level 3, level 4 Ultra Hero play right now. And once again, another 3. 1, 2, 3, and there is my 5 names, and we got it. Now all we need to do is draw next. And let's just say we win this, we get a scene drop to draw 1, And then what do you know? We can play this and it'll be 17k. And then we'll draw next again. We'll most probably win this lane. And once we do that, we have this to draw 1. And then voila, look at that. We can probably play this and we either win with 1, 2, 3. We either win with 1, 2, and 3. Or we lose because they could overpower these 3 and they probably put out level 4. Yep. So that's the rough gameplay of Belial. It's very vibes based, but if you can get the vibes down and the vibes are indeed vibing with you, you will win a lot with this deck. Which is what I used to do for most of my challenge matches, since it's a best of 1 and sometimes it does vibe with me. But recently, when it doesn't vibe, I've lost in a 4-match Swiss round, I've lost all 4 matches. So it does come at a risk. It is very, like, as mentioned before, it is a very vibe-based deck. Hope you enjoyed this deck profile, and I hope you learned something new about Tiga, Belial, and maybe an X. Feel free to give it a try. Feel free to give this deck a try and see whether you can find any success in it. Yep. Thank you for watching.